Today I wanted to talk about getting away from the internet, even for a brief period of time. This is something that has really proven to be beneficial. Even a few hours can be really restoring and recuperative. I find that social media, especially, can be overwhelming, especially when you have a constant influx of messages and likes and all these other things. People talk a lot about the dopamine hits, but I think psychologically you're somehow tied to this in a way that's very similar to a drug, and to get away from this can be really restorative. I find that even sometimes I will turn off my phone and I will still use the internet, but I'll take breaks from social media, and this can be really effective. One way to take a break from the internet is, I described a bit in my last video, hiking, and it ties in with this. You can check that out in the link below. And hiking is one way that I find I can totally refresh. Also, sometimes what I like doing is, if I go to a new place, if I go to a friend's place, if I go to a cafe, I will purposefully not ask for the Wi Fi password. Or occasionally, if I go out somewhere, I leave my phone behind and I'll go out and enjoy the evening. And I find that it's usually more rewarding, and I'm more open to talk to people because I'm not down looking at my screen. There was one experience in particular, and I wanted to mention this. I also included a picture of this in the thumbnail. 2 years ago, when I was traveling in Turkey, now the idea of traveling just seems so bizarre and not possible. When I was traveling in Turkey 2 years ago, I visited Cappadocia, and when I went there, I had a host that was recommended by my friends. It was similar to couchsurfing basically, and I went to this host place, and the host said to me, "Do you want the Wi-Fi password?" And I said to the host, "No, I don't want to use Wi-Fi while I'm here." I ended up staying with this host for 5 nights, which maybe would have been might have been a bit inconvenient to the host, but I was basically out for the whole day. I was walking anywhere from 10 to 15 kilometers a day, so minimum. So about 6 to 9 miles a day minimum. I was walking around on these days, and I wasn't using the internet at all. And it was one of the most refreshing experiences. I started reading books, and I read through things really fast when I got back to the place. And I also had time to dwell over past traumas. And this is something that, within the everyday swing of things, I can't really get to so easily and so readily. So to have this time to think was very beneficial to me. uh, it's kind of crazy because, like, people are so used to you being available all the time that when I got back onto social media, a lot of people were wondering where the hell I went, because being absent for 5 days is something that is so absurd nowadays. Back in the day, you had to write people by mail, and it could have gone weeks between your communications, and now I was just gone for 5 days, and some people were even freaking out, "Hey, where the hell were you?" And so this is kind of maybe something that's not so good about our society, this constant pressure to be available. And I think in this constant pressure to be available, sometimes we look for and even need an escape, even for a few hours. Otherwise, it can become really easy to just get totally burned out. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I can get really burnt out just by being in social media. Recently, I deleted my Facebook app from my phone, and I only check into Facebook like once every 2 days, and this is really nice for me. I find that I'm much more relaxed and more rested. Sure, there's a lot of things going on, but it's just overwhelming to see all these posts, and it's hard. It's like too much information to process. most of the time. And while it's good to keep up on certain events, uh, I find that especially now, it's better to have the peace of mind of not constantly having to be overwhelmed with this information in my face all the time. And maybe you guys can try this too, and you have certain experiences with this kind of thing. You tell me, guys. Let me know. Anyway, that was all for now.